but I'm kind of in like the slow walk into doing community acupuncture where I'm like, well, I want a nice website to send people to and a place to, I want somewhere for me to take up space in a way that people can find me and know what events I'm doing and where I'm at in the future.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I'm kind of just, and I don't know that that's a challenge. I mean,
Yeah,
again,
so
I'm
you're having a hard time building a website, or what
um I think I'm having a hard time um waiting for everything to be right to start, which it feels
oh.
like it will be a few months by the time I'm like,
Oh, okay. Don't do that. Just start.
yeah,
Like,
just start,
just start.
just do
Yeah, like,
something.
because honestly, there's stuff in my clinic that's still not done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
look at this wall. Can you see that?
Uh-huh.
There's like, what is that? That's an exposed electrical panel that when I moved in here, I was like going to do a build out and do a cabinet and all this. And I didn't have time. I was like, no, I'm opening now. I put a sheet over it like 3 years later. We're still, like it's never done. It's never perfect. Like, do you have a box of needles? Do you have a chair? Start treating now. Like, you
Yeah.
don't need a website. You don't,
Hmm.
a lot of these things that you think you need, they cost money. And so
Hmm.
the way that you get them is by treating people. The way you get money is by treating people,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
Um, and I
Oh,
think that's really common, but
Hmm.
I always tell myself done is better than perfect, you
Yeah.
know?
yeah. That's why that's a good point, Michelle, because like I'm always changing things in my website. I'm always updating because I can't, I mean, I have to submit what I want and they do it because it's so much. And then the other thing is that I'm even doing community in my little office. I'm like, I've got 3 spots. So why not? Like
Mhm.
it's not 8, but if I don't have any patients, that's a great time to do a mini community
Yeah,
just to fill that space, right?
yeah.
So I have 0 recliners in my office. They're small leather ones that I got on Amazon a while back. And so
Hmm.
it's like, yeah, I'm doing it. If I don't have a private, I'm gonna do a few people because it's still getting it out there, right? And then they
Yeah,
might come, to the other space too, and it just builds, and then they tell their friends and their people. So
yeah.
yeah, I see that too. That you just gotta do it because like I was saying, I need the money, so that's where I'm going to be able to save and get more chairs and
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. I'm always like looking at businesses that are like, there's a lot of businesses, especially restaurants, that are really thriving, and there's like a crazy wait list, or they're doing cash only. It's really exclusive. And you go look at their website, and it's like it directs you to their Facebook page. Is that around you?
Yeah.
And you're just
Yeah.
like, wow, like they don't they don't care. Like, because they're just like, what we're doing is working. Like, we make the best bow buns in town, and like
Hmm.
like we don't need a website, right? If you're that good, people, it's word of mouth, really, especially for what we do. People are going to want to know from somebody else that you're safe and that you're nurturing and the place is clean and you get good results. And they're not going to get that information necessarily from your website, you know?
Hmm.
I think that's really secondary. And you can build a website. You could build a website this afternoon, you know?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to look the way you want, it's not
Hmm.
going to be perfect, but you just need your address up there. I do acupuncture. This is when, this is they pay, like show up or whatever, if it's important to you. Um, yeah. So what else? Anything else, you guys? It's just us three. Let's do
Hmm.
yeah.
this.
I have a question. Sorry, I must have froze or you guys froze. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah,
But hopefully you can hear me now.
I can hear
Hmm.
you.
and this might be for another class, that you're gonna do, because you know how hard it is to be a one-man show.
Oh,
You've
heck
got
yeah.
people now, and so that would be my next question is, are you gonna do anything that talks about like hiring people, how much, they should get paid? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to hire an assistant of some kind, because I'm just like, this is hard to do it by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what would that entail as far as the pay and all of that? Like, how did you get going? That would just be my other main
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. I mean, how did I get going with that? I mean, it got to the point where it was unmanageable on my own, and I hired someone, and you pay based on what is comparable in the area. You can go on Craigslist and see what front desk receptionists are making, and you start there. It's
Okay.
so the first person that I hired, and this is why I don't feel 100% confident teaching on this, is like the first person that I hired, they came to me and they're like, I want to help you. Like they saw what I was doing. They're like, I see what you're doing. I get what you're doing. I want to help you. And so I was like, okay, you're hired. Like, obviously, like I can't top that. And they ended up staying with me for like the first 2.5 years. And eventually they had to move on when COVID, or I forget what it was. I don't know, but they had to move on. And then I don't know, anyone that I've hired has kind of just found me, until recently I've really had to like put out an ad and hire people, and that's been challenging to
Yeah.
figure that out. Honestly, I've gotten burned a couple times too. And what I'm learning is like my gut is 100% right. And when I do these interviews, and the times that I overwrite it, because I'll be like, no, but like on paper, this person is a total perfect match. Oh my God. Like they have a background in holistic healing. They have a background in psychology. They really get what I'm doing. But like inside it was a no. And I was like, I'm freaking nuts. This person is awesome. And so I hired him, and it was a disaster. So ever
Yeah.
since then, I just do not mess around. Even recently, I'm hiring a massage therapist right now. And this woman came in that I worked with, gosh, back when I did massage like 20 years ago. So we were old coworkers. I know her really well. We worked at a spa. So of course, I'm like, oh, obviously a yes. Like I know her, I trust her. And during the interview, I just got a no. And I was like, this is so embarrassing, because like she probably thinks she's a shoo-in. And like, how do I tell her it's a no? But I'm not messing around. I'm just like, nope, like our schedules don't work, or whatever. I was like, I'm not. So I don't, it's hard for me to really say like, this is how you hire someone. I
Yeah.
hate to be like really woo woo, but like if you show up in alignment with the service that you want to provide and embody the characteristics and the values that you want your business to have, you will attract those people really easily. It's kind of like dating, like you have to be who you want to date, and then that person will show up. I feel like that's really true. And maybe you put an ad out. I mean, you don't know how you're going to meet these people. Maybe you put an ad out. Maybe they're more than likely they will be patients, and they will see what you're doing, and they'll be like, look, I'm independently wealthy and I have 3 days a week that I'll work for minimum wage. I just want to help you. You like, people have said that to me too. Like, you don't know, so if you shine your light super bright, like people want to work for people that are passionate about what they're doing and they're building something that has integrity. So it's really not hard to hire people. I don't know. And then compensation, I just do whatever's comparable in the area. And then I give a 10% raise every year that they're with me. I recently set up a bonus structure where it's a percentage if we hit certain goals. And then a lot of this, like I've had to just get consultants and advising, because I don't have an MBA like you guys. Like I don't have a business background. I'm like, how do you set up a bonus structure? What is profit sharing? Like, because that's
Mhm.
what I'm setting up with my front desk girl now, is like a profit sharing. So like, okay, she gets a percentage of the profit of the clinic. How do I set that up? Like, what's reasonable, So these are all things that I've had to use resources in the area. And there's actually a lot out there, especially as women. There's a lot of women business uh,
Mhm.
resources. Like I know in my community here, there's like a women's business resource place. There's also, it's called the Hot House. It's a place where you can connect with other like business people, whatever you need for free, and they'll consult you for free for small businesses. So just connect with your city or chamber of commerce. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of people that want to help small businesses, especially women-owned small businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I know they're trying to push intern students a lot, but I'm like, yeah, I can't supervise them though. So I've
Yeah.
had to tell them that doesn't really work for me because I have I'm kind of like Courtney where I still work for another doctor as I'm building. So I can't be there to supervise them. I mean, it sounds like a great idea, but it, I need somebody who, you know, is, I don't need to supervise as much. So,
Right. I mean, you'll have to train them, you know.
yes, yes, of course. Yeah.
I think
No,
the idea is to find someone that has ownership mentality, like Claire. I don't know if you watched our interview, but she's so great. Like
yeah.
you need someone that looks at the business like it's theirs and is like, this is an issue. Like we need to fix this. And there's lots of people out there that want that role, you know.
Yeah.
They don't want to be the entrepreneur. They want to be the supportive role, which I get
And
it.
I believe
Nice.
you. Chamber of Commerce.
Hmm.
I tell them the internship thing doesn't work for me. Because they're like you said, they're not going to be all in. They're
No,
just getting hours.
no.
That's it.
Yeah. I think it's really important that you find someone that really understands and gets what you're doing,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
gets your why, because it's not a job where you're going to get rich. So you're looking for somebody that really wants to support your cause.
yeah.
I mean, you may get rich, who knows, but like you can't get into it for that reason, you know.
Right. Yes, I agree. Um, awesome. This has been great.
Good. I'm excited for you, Karen.
I mean, yeah, me too. And
I'm excited
then
for you too,
that's great that
Courtney.
yeah. I mean, you're off to a good start, Courtney,
I
being just
know.
because I was like Michelle, I made mistakes and big ones too. So it's like, yeah, I realized I need coaching all of the time. I'm always looking.
I need coaching all of the
I
time.
use, I, use- I use Dr. East. I use you. I mean, whatever I can get. I'm like, because I made some really bad mistakes. So
Well,
it's kind of,
it's
and I can't,
smart.
I can't afford to make any more. I mean,
Yeah.
it's time to be successful, and that means, I do want to blow it up. I mean, I know I'm not going to get super. It's not about getting super rich, but I got to be able to support myself. And
Yeah.
right now, that's been a challenge. So it's like, no, I live in California. I should be able to make a decent income. I want to be able to buy my own home. I
Yeah.
want to be enough to where I can afford to live here. So,
Yeah.
and
And I think we should start raising the bar in our profession that should be a given, you know?
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
it's crazy. Like I got like freaking attacked on some Facebook group because I posted this course and this woman was just like, "What do you mean? Like, I can't believe you're an advocate for passive income and all this stuff." And I was like, "Why not?" Like, I'm sorry, but like what is so wrong about wanting to be abundant? Like, what is so wrong with like me as a single mom wanting to own my own home, like, or retire someday? Like, show me how that's wrong for our profession, you know?
It's in every other profession. So why can't we
Yeah.
do
Yeah, if
that?
you're an MD, we're like, of course you'd own your own home. Why wouldn't you? You know, It's like, of course you'd only work 4 days a week. Why wouldn't you? You deserve
Yeah,
that. Why don't we deserve that? You know?
yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
yeah. Okay, so I got emailed a couple questions, so I'll go ahead and answer them since this is being recorded. Heads up, I hope that's okay. I forgot to record the front half. But let's see. I got one question today, someone asking me if I accept personal checks in the community clinic. And yeah, I take money any form. So I don't really the only problem about personal checks is I'm really lazy at depositing them. So obviously I prefer cash, but I don't have a problem with a check.
That's a personal choice, right? Like I don't personally take it. But I like your Venmo option because for community, because it's like,
Yeah.
well, Venmo, and it's like, so I'm Venmo or I'm cash. And then I have my card processing for all my privates and other things.
So
So
why don't you, can I ask why you don't accept checks?
because I've had them bounce, believe it or not.
Oh,
And then I keep that fee. Yeah.
okay. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
I'm very much like, I don't want to
Yeah.
limit any way you want to pay me. And I feel
Yeah.
like they're on their way out.
People
People aren't writing checks anymore. I mean, if they are, they're really elderly. And I'm just like, I'm not going to ask you to learn new tricks right now and learn Venmo. Like, that's fine. So,
I mean, I see your point. It's just, I feel like I've attracted the wrong kind of people sometimes where and maybe that's just, I need to get rid of that energy or whatever, because like I said, those people don't write checks anymore. But that's why I figure if I say cash or Venmo or card, everyone's pretty cool with that. But
yeah.
if it becomes a real problem and they're like begging me, I guess I would, but I don't know that I would market it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, another question I got is how do I, and we touched on this a little bit, how do I formulate a diagnosis so quickly in community acupuncture? And generally I don't formulate a diagnosis. I mean, I don't share with them a diagnosis. I formulate a diagnostic guess, most likely. And the good thing about acupuncture is you can't really do any harm. And usually my guesses are just as good as as if I did an hour and a half diagnosis on them. Because you get to have a pretty good idea of what's going on. I mean, I hate to dumb down our medicine because it is complex, but people are coming in with like the same 5 ailments usually. It's some type of physical pain, some type of hormonal issue, allergies, cold, flu, respiratory stuff. Um, what are the other ones? They're not sleeping, they're not pooping, or digestive stuff, right? So the second they tell me why they're coming in, I immediately find a category. If it's pain, then I'm like, point to where the pain is. Then it's chi stagnation, blood stagnation. That's easy, right? That's the easy diagnosis. Then I'm just using balance method to try to figure out how to get them out of pain. If it's, if they're not sleeping, then I'm looking at, okay, I start to think about organs, right? Or if it's hormones, I'm thinking about anything I'm thinking about organs. So if it's hormone related, it's like liver, kidneys, right? Heart. Those are the 3 that I'm probably going to be tuning in on. And then is it like, I'll ask about their menstrual cycle, where they're at, and pretty good at knowing where they're at in their cycle and knowing which points I want to utilize. If it's pre-ovulation, post-ovulation, there's different points I'm going to use. So a lot of my hormone regulation is around the menstrual cycle, unless it's menopausal, which in that case, it's kidney insufficiency, technically, or I mean, not technically, but generally it is. So digestive issues, spleen, stomach, right? So am I draining damp? Am I tonifying the stomach basically? Or is it a chi directional, like rebellious chi issue? I'm mainly just thinking about like, what's the chi doing and what do I want it to do instead? You know?
Yeah.
It's hard to really just, and then there's that big component of intuition and also not body typing, but like the elemental types of people that you get really used to experiencing, like a wood type, an earth type, like those are physical. Like if I saw two people, I could be like, you're a wood type, you're an earth type, just by your energy. And so right there, that'll influence what points I'm utilizing too.
Yeah, and I feel like their constitution, right? That you're looking at their
It's their
constitution.
constitution. Yeah.
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 So you're balancing out whatever they're presenting with. It's interesting too, because they'll always come in, they're like, I want to sleep or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, you're very angry. I don't say that, but I'm like, I
Yeah.
have some liver issues going on here, So,
Yeah.
I'll give them what they want, I'll do like an on me on, a kidney 6, a heart 7, and then I'm like, and you're getting a liver too. Boom, So I don't tell them that, but these are things that like I give them what they say they want, I give them what I think they need, and then I always leave one point for divine guidance, right?
Well,
That's the one where I don't know why I did it.
yeah, they just want the outcome. You don't have
Yes.
to. They just want. It's like, are they going to feel better or not? Like the outcome is what you're selling. That's the importance. It's not. They don't. They don't care. They didn't go to school. They didn't go to
Yeah.
school for this. So it's not about explaining, unless they ask. But most people don't. They're just like, okay, that was amazing, and I'm coming back. Like,
Yeah, it's how you make them feel, and a lot of that is so much more than your treatment. It's like, are you offering empathetic listening?
yeah,
That's like half of the treatment, and they've done studies on this where it's like, if physicians offer empathetic listening, people get better faster, right?
yeah,
than
yeah,
than if they don't, or if they spend less time with them. So I mean, it's so much more than your diagnosis.
yeah.
And I hate to say that because I think Chinese medicine is freaking amazing too. I think but there's definitely something to be said for, how you're making these people feel, Yeah. Okay, the
Oh,
other, go ahead.
question before I forget.
Yeah.
PC community, do you just have them fill out that brief form that you shared with us with the financial agreement, or are they filling out the whole intake form for community
No,
versus private?
it's
Because private is filling out all of it, right? But
yeah,
for,
private is like, we're going through all the elements, we're doing everything.
yeah,
No, for when they come in, and I've played with different intake forms throughout the years, but it's gotten shorter. If anything, it's more been about like, can I treat you? These are the
yeah,
risks, yes or no, and then beyond that, it's pretty much it.
have them sign the that agreement one that's short with their basic information, and that they're consenting to allow you to treat them. And then are they doing the financial one too, or just that one
So I
agreement?
used to do that one, but I don't do that one anymore. I haven't had any problems with it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started out, I had a lot of intake forms.
We all did.
Yeah, I mean, just because that's how I'm like, this is complicated stuff. Like, I need to know everything about you. And then, like, the more I practice, I'm like, do I really? It's like,
Yeah.
do I really care? How your great grandfather died? You know, I'm just trying to regulate your liver energy because you seem kind of angry. Yeah.
Plus, with community, it's like you said, it's more basic. Versus
Yes.
if they want a thorough intake and their case is a lot more complicated, then we need
Yes.
more information. It's going to help us
Yes.
to figure out what's
And
going.
I feel like it sets the expectation as well.
Yeah.
Like if they're filling out a huge intake form and then I'm like, what can I help you with? You need help sleeping? Okay. And I'm like, boom, 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 boom. They're like, why did I fill out that form? Like, I feel like it on the front end is like, shows you like what to expect time wise,
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, because I was like a little bit confused about that. I'm like, okay, so
Yeah.
I just want to confirm that. Yeah.
Okay, so other question I had, which was a little confusing to me, was they wanted to know like how I hold the needles when I treat patients, and I hold them the same way as I do in private. I use like what are they, the DBC? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
DBC needle packs. There's 10 in a pack. I open it, I take out 10. I have a guide tube in the other one and load each one. It's not that exciting.
Do you use like all one size needles? Do you use all of the
Oh, it's a good question. No, I
inch or
usually
half?
use 2 sizes. I have 32s, and then I think I've got 38s. Yeah. And then I've got serins, actually, like the red serins, whatever size those are. And between those 3, that's all I really need. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's all the questions I got emailed for everyone in the class. You guys want to make sure, if you haven't yet, to book your coaching call if that's something you'd like to do.
And what should we prepare with that? Like if we should do any preliminaries?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to work on. Like, I am yours for an hour. We could like, take a look at your books. We could put together a budget. We could build a website together. Like, whatever you need help with, like, I'm yours. So, and then, yeah, I'm going to be sending out a survey about the class for you guys to let me know how it really went and anything that I can do to improve it, because I'll more than likely improve it and then throw it out there again. Probably going to be releasing some more classes about like the moon circles that I do, and the treatments that I do with astrology and things like that. And then possibly putting together like a in-person retreat here or a shadowing thing where you can come hang out in the clinic and follow me around. So there's some interest in that too. So yeah, lots of exciting things. Do you guys have any other questions for me? No?
No.
Okay. Thanks so much for showing up.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll be in touch. Have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.